ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Hey, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. Welcome to the Roundtable Talks. Today, we have a really great show, so I'm so excited that you're here. It's cold out. It's cold out here in New Jersey. Where are you watching from? Let us know. Comment below. Make sure you watch us every single week. I would love for you to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Every week, we talk to artists about art. We're live on Thursdays, and then we do Roundtable Talks throughout the week. You know, documentaries are all the rage. They are all the rage. They are what we're all loving and watching. If it's on Netflix, if it's on Hulu, and if you're somebody who is from Philly, the East Coast, you love boxing, you love inspirational stories, we have an amazing story for you with Dannon Green. And then we have the creators, YouTube superstars, social media mavens. They wrote a short film called Reply. And you're definitely going to want to check this out. It's a beautiful story of love, and I can't wait to share it with you. So up first, Dannon Green is here. Take a peek. All right, everybody. Our next guest is got a brand new I love it's documentary time. We all are obsessed with documentaries. Documentaries are the top of the Netflix list, the Hulu list, and you have to see this documentary. If you're Philly, if you're a boxing fan, if you're a stand-up fan, if you're an acting fan, if you're an inspirational story fan, then this next documentary is for you. It's called The Executioners, and it's coming. There's a red carpet premiere. Philly, stand up, get up, Philly, October 22nd. Get your tickets. You may have seen his stand up. Listen, he says, "I don't want no trouble." That's like his. I don't want no trouble either, Dannon. I swear, no trouble. Dannon Green is here. Welcome, Dannon, to the show.
Hey man, you know me. I don't want no trouble. I don't want none. How are you this morning, Robert?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing well. It's so nice.
How did you get me up at 7 o'clock West Coast time on a Saturday?
You know, that is, I'm very grateful and appreciative, and I can only blame your publicist for that. It's not me, I swear.
I've been trying to fire her for a long time. I want you to know that.
Tracy, it's your fault, Tracy.
I know. I've been really trying to fire her, but I can't get rid of her. She's too good. She's too good.
She's so good and so sweet, and
I'm so
grateful that she brings me amazing artists like you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Can you tell me, you're born in Philly?
Born in New York.
Born in New York. Okay.
Raised in Philly.
Raised in Philly. Yes. And you know, during the day, I'm a 5th grade school teacher. I work in North Bergen, New Jersey. We're 93% economically disadvantaged. And I have a lot of students who look for an outlet and parents who look for an outlet. And I've had a lot of students through the years who box, who end up in the gym and in the boxing ring. How did you and your young age end up in the boxing ring, and of all boxing rings and schools, this one in particular?
Well, when I was younger, and I'm a little older, we used to slap box a lot. Play slap, try to go to the head. And I used to hang with 2 guys that were a little shorter than me, but always used to be able to be quickly, tag me. So I wound up finding out that they went to the boxing gym. Now, unlike today's time, where everything is so social media driven, everything about a kid, you know what I mean? You know everything about a person's life. And I didn't know, we didn't have social media back then. So when I found out, I ran home and asked my mom, could I join? And she told me no. And then she came back, Robert, 2 days later and said, okay, you can join, but I hope you get hurt. I was like, that doesn't make sense. That really doesn't make sense, Mom. I mean, I'd rather you just tell me no if your dream is to see me get hurt, But I wound up joining. My 2 friends wound up quitting, and I wound up becoming the best out of all of them, and that's how I got into boxing.
Wow, so this gym on 60th and Vine was open. Yes. 1976 to 1986, and it was run by Manny Tucci Gordon and Frank
Marvin. Yes.
I can't even read my own handwriting.
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Marvin Tucci Gordon and Frank. And when you walked in there, what kind of foundation besides boxing? What kind of a community was this gym to the area around it and the people that went there?
Well, first of all, it was a gym that had a great reputation in the West Philadelphia area. Anybody that saw or was part of that gym you built a great reputation. People knew you. You know, you were respected. That's the first thing. But the gym was based on a lot of discipline, friendship, and family. And it didn't just stay in the gym. It also went outside of the gym. So if the two trainers would see you in the street somewhere messing around or doing something, they would pull you to the carpet. So it was a gym that even though I was there only 2 years, because I lost my mother when I was young and I had to move, the discipline and the friendship that it built for me, it was something that I remember the rest of my life. And that's kind of the foundation and how I got involved with boxing even to this day.
It's amazing when you find something that like you connect to, that you love. What it does changes really the direction of a child's life.
Yes.
Then you go on to be a 2-time Gold Glove winning boxer. Like it really, you create a whole career and for yourself in this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, it's an amazing story. And I had read a little bit, you know, your childhood and losing your mom and whatever, you know, there really is a moment and a crossroads. I'm sure you just went through the adversity and really thrived through all the different careers in art that you've created.
Well, Robert, you know, it's in life. And I think as a teacher, you know this when you're on the outside looking in, and you can see a person's life. I try to tell people that in life, there's crossroads and there's certain age limits. There's certain times in your life that you make these crossroads. You know, when you're 13, you know, when you become a teenager, when you're 18, when you're 21 and 25. At 25, the world expects you to know it. You know what I mean? They expect you to be able to get it right. You're on your own, you know, because 21, you're just able to drink if that's what you do. Mm-hmm. And when my mother passed, I knew I had to make a decision. I grew up in a very, very tough but caring, loving area of West Philadelphia. You know, it was a tough area, but everybody knew everybody. And you know how Jersey is. Well, I don't know if are you from Jersey originally?
Yeah, always.
So, you know, it's that family. Everybody knows everybody, especially where I grew up. But it was tough. But you have a decision to make. And when my mother passed, I had to make a decision whether I'm going to try to fly straight, get my life together, or go down a certain path. And I truly believe that boxing was one of the reasons in this gym, and, you know, was one of the reasons that I picked the right path outside of my brother that took care of me when my mom passed for 2 years. So it's a situation where it's such a great movie for kids too, because they won't know these fighters, but they'll know these type of stories. And at the end of the day, you always have to remember, people at a certain point in your life, they really figure you should have it together, and they don't care unless they know you care about your life. You know, I think sometimes our social media gives us a false sense of security, false sense of financial security, false sense of friendship. You know, you got 1 million friends, but how many of them do you really know?
Yeah.
So when you come from a gym like I just came from, that gym, you knew you had friends, you knew you had a brotherhood, you know what I mean? And that was really needed at that time in my life. And that's one reason that this documentary was put together, because I remember what this gym did for me. And just a little history, this boxing documentary, Robert, is the first ever done about a boxing team. If you look at the history of boxing documentaries, they've always been about a fight or a particular fighter, never a team. And I produced the first boxing documentary in the history of probably entertainment about a boxing team, a full-fledged team that was homegrown. And what I mean by that is everybody started there. Their records, that 639 wins and 84 loss record that we had, it was all from one gym. No one brought it from another gym. They all started learning how to fight under that particular guy, those two men, and came up in that over a 10-year span.
Wow. That is amazing. Well, you not only tell your story about the gym in this documentary, you wrote, directed, and produce this all as a passion project and a love letter, truly, from you.
Right.
How did you get the idea, and what can we expect to see? Who's in the documentary? What can we expect to see when we watch it?
Well, great question. That's a great question because, you know, it's funny when you think of something, and being in LA, one of the hardest things to do in Los Angeles is to have an idea and complete it. You know, everybody's got a script, everybody's got an idea. Trust me. But what it was, Robert, was I had went home in 2017 to do a comedy show because stand-up is my background. And my former teammate came, and I was asking him about certain fighters. You know, how's everybody doing? You know what I mean? Because I hadn't been back in Philly. I don't go back as often as I would like to. So I asked him about the two trainers, and one of the trainers had died. Marvin Tucci-Gorda, he died in 1996. And the other trainer, Frank Taylor, I thought was deceased. So I said, hey, whatever happened to, you know, Frank? Well, he's, oh, Frank's alive. I said, oh, man, you know, is there a way you can give me his number? So I got his phone number. This was in September of, this was August of 2017, Robert. So I go back to LA, and I'm in my apartment, and I'm laying down, and I'm sleeping. And I said, man, in October, I go, let me call Frank. Let me see how he's doing. So I called him. Now, I hadn't talked to this man in over 30 or 40 years. And I said, hey, is Frank Taylor there? And he goes, yeah, this is Frank Taylor. And I go, hey, Frank, this is Dannon Green. I used to box for you when I was a kid. And he goes, Dannon Green. He goes, Dannon Green, Felton Street, Southpaw. Good fighter. Yeah, I remember you. And, man, it almost made me cry because I hadn't seen this man in years. And he remembered where I lived, who I was, and which means I made an impression on him. He definitely made an impression on me. So we talked, Robert, for about like 30 minutes or so. And I said to him, I said, Frank, you know, you should let me do, something just hit me. I said, you should let me do the story about the executioners. And he goes, and I don't know how much you know about Hollywood, but you do know about the East Coast and our community. And so you're going to understand what I'm saying. He said, I always thought there was a story there, but I didn't know how to get it out. And I said, let me do this story. And I just was doing very well at the time. I did very well at the time in commercials. So I took the bulk of my money, and then I found a business partner and who went in with me. I told him what the idea was, and he said, hey, let's see. And we went in, and it just came from there. And I researched the fighters. Now, the one thing about social media that is good, that I do like, because as much as I'm on social media, I don't like social media, but it does allow you to connect with people. So I started looking for people, got in touch with a guy, Sean Clark, who is in the documentary, is a referee now. We used to box, but he's a big-time referee now. But he also was the referee that was in Creed, the original first Creed.
Okay.
So that guy, he knew a lot of where the fighters was, and he helped me get all of the fighters, some of the information, and then I just started one call, got another call, I called, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And went back, and I started the documentary. I knew it was going to be a winner because the week of me shooting was the week that the Eagles were about to win their first Super Bowl. So that was it.
That Philly, there you go. Come on, Philly.
2018, baby. January, that week. I flew back to LA that Sunday. Got back in time to catch the Super Bowl and us win.
That you could fine. The Eagles are fine, Dannon, as long as you don't say the Phillies are going to ever win a Super Bowl, because us Yankee, Jersey, New York, let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. It's fine.
You know, Robert, every now and then I get an interview, and me and the guy, we got to bump heads. You know what I mean? And there you go.
I'm not fighting with you. I don't want no trouble.
Okay,
no.
Right.
No. Well,
okay.
I want to show the poster.
Yes.
It's won a ton of awards.
Yes.
It's won a bunch of film awards already. It's the Executioners, and you're doing an event. You're coming home to Philly. You're
coming home.
You're coming home to Philly Saturday, October 22nd. You can get tickets to the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts. There's going to be a red carpet premiere, and then you're going to show the movie.
Yes, I'm going to show the movie. The documentary was on Tubi TV. Last year, I had it in the Manhattan Film Festival. So that was my big thing. So what happened was I wind up getting an interview that I wasn't expecting to get. So when I got this interview, I wound up getting. So let me tell you a little bit about who's in the doc. So I don't know if you know, but with the fan base, how big a box fan is. But Mark Breland, 1984 Olympic gold medal winner, is in it. Buddy McGirt, International Hall of Fame from New York. Shane Mosley, 7-time world champion, International Boxing Hall of Fame. Carlos Palomino, former world champion, International Boxing Hall of Fame. Malik Scott, former #1 contender, and currently the trainer of Deontay Wilder, one of the top heavyweights in the world right now. We have Russell Peltz, International Hall of Fame promoter from Philadelphia in it. We have Sean O'Grady, who it was International Boxing Hall of Famer, also was the commentator for the boxing matches back in the late 80s out of Philadelphia. And the guy that we got, those are the big names. The first are really the story, and it's really, but these guys knew that story, and they helped me tell a story about this guy. But the big guy, and then the other big name that we got, which was the reason that we took it off of Tubi, we had it on Tubi for 4 months, is Bernard Hopkins. Bernard the Executioner Hopkins. So that was one of the big reasons that I took it off of Tubi, but we got him, and I was like, wow. And his involvement was because it was kind of controversial with the name of the Executioners. So he was gracious enough to give us an interview and give his side of the story. And I learned that I could be a very good reporter by interviewing him, because he gave me a 38-minute interview. And of course, me being from the gym, I'm thinking, okay, well, where did you get this name? When you interview, you have to learn to be neutral. You have to take your emotions out of it, your own personal feelings out of it, and let a person give his side of the story. And he gave us a great side. I'm telling you, Robert, this to me is one of the best boxing documentaries ever done. It's probably one of the best, and it's the first, again, about a boxing team.
That is fascinating about the name, and then to get him to come on and talk about it, and then to get all sides of the story and really tell the story from all different sides and angles. If you are in the Philly area, Jersey, Philly, Pennsylvania, New York, and you want to come on down, you could go to Eventbrite and get tickets to go see it. It's going to be on the 22nd, and there's going to be a whole event, red carpet, the premiere. You have bring your, you have merchandise. You have it's a whole event. It's a whole party.
Yeah, I have merchandise. I have 250 pieces because I didn't want, and that's going to be it. What we make.
That's it.
We have a game plan. We're hoping, our goal is maybe to try to get Philadelphia strong enough to come out where this is something that gyms are not there anymore, Robert. This is the reason that our kids are in the street. Mm-hmm. We don't have the discipline. So my partner and I are hopefully trying to find a way, if we can, to see if we can get someone we can try to go ahead and maybe open up another gym like that. But red carpet event, merchandise we're selling, and really just the bringing of the neighborhood in Philadelphia. Tickets are actually, they started off slow, but people first go, like they play to the left, suddenly now I'm getting phone calls. So where can I get that ticket again? And my friends want to come, but how, so I'm getting that now. So right now we have a little bit over 100 tickets sold, and the place only sits 260.
Okay. So
people, if you want to come, and you can pay at the door, but you're taking a gamble paying at the door, because we're not going to guarantee you in if once it's sold out. But we just really feel, I feel personally that this is just a story that needs to be told. And I'm a comedian, I'm an actor. I love writing stories. I wrote the story. I narrated it. I did the whole thing. And my whole thing wasn't, even though I did the whole thing and I'm part of it, I put myself in the dock just a little bit, not a major part, because I didn't want to grandstand, because it's not about me. It's about the boxing, those fighters, those two men who had a vision to want to take kids off the street. And you don't have that right now. Our world is really in a different place, and we don't have it, and boxing today is even different, because if you don't go, most people now go to boxing gyms just to work out.
Right.
It's very glamorous now. But back when I grew up, when you went in that gym, you knew you was going there to fight. You wasn't going there to just work out. It wasn't none of that, oh, I'm working out. No, you going there to, if you wasn't over 50, you wasn't going there to work out. You know what I mean?
Right. People pay good money now to go to a UFC or a boxing gym, and no, back in the day, I'm sure you all got your ass kicked every so often.
The first time I ever went in the ring, this dude beat me, Robert. And I'm not making this up. Him and I were in the gym about the same amount of time, so maybe 2 weeks. And what they do is, after a while, they put you in the ring to see where your heart is, what happened. This dude beat me from each corner he beat me up so bad. When I went home, I didn't want to go to sleep because I thought I was going to die, brain damage. But the only problem was I went back the next day. So I guess I was good.
That shows you. Well, while we have you here for the last few minutes, can you talk about, so Dannon, how did you go from this kid in the boxing gym in Philly to then, you have a television and film commercial stand-up career? I mean, we've seen it For the Love of Money and Bad Boy and The Shield, right, and Everybody Hates Chris, and then touring and doing stand-up literally from coast to coast around this country. How did that? And the world.
Kuwait, Bahrain, Egypt, Korea, Japan. I've been all over the world because I perform for our troops. So I want to say that because I truly am a person that respects our military. And I want to thank them personally. Yeah. It's
the ultimate sacrifice that they make for this country, for sure.
Right. But I got into boxing because how I got into the entertainment, is, okay, so I went to college. I did my undergrad in a small school in Davenport, Iowa. And I always kind of had a personality. I was always a talker. But when you live in a major city, when I grew up, and probably now too, you can't let your whole personality go. You always got to kind of be on the P and the Q's, because someone will see it and take it as weakness and try, try to take advantage of it, take your money. So I always had to be on my P's and Q's. So what happened was, when I moved out of Philly, I kind of was able to find myself again and be more like, hey, who I am is an outgoing person. I'm opinionated, but I'm a very outgoing person. So I wound up going to college in Iowa, and I became the president of all my classes, president of freshman, sophomore, junior class, vice president of Student Government Association. And I went to a college in Iowa that was 99% white. It was only 12 black guys went there, and 11 of them played basketball. That's just how it is. So my personality came out. I had a lot of fun. Bam. Nice to be involved with a lot of stuff, try to rap, all that stuff. I went to graduate school, got accepted to graduate school at Ohio State University. And so I'm a Buckeye. So when I went to Ohio State, I used to hang with these two guys, two friends of mine, so we're friends to this day. And so one of them we used to hang out at a nightclub on Friday nights after class. Every week, at the end of the week, we would go to this club. And that would be our release for the week. So he came late one time and he said, Dannon, he said, man, I went to this comedy club the other night with Tasha. That was his girlfriend and now his wife at the time. He goes, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. you're funnier than those guys. You should be a comedian. And I blew him out. Like, man, shut the hell up. You know what I mean? Because I truly wanted to be a businessman. So 2 years go by, 1991. I'm driving down the street in Columbus, Ohio. I see on the marquee, open mic night, comedy. I had just gotten my degree, and I was just job hunting, sending out resumes around the country. And I said, well, you know what? Let me try it. I don't know what it was. I don't know what got me there, but something said, try it. First time I ever go on stage, I had 4 bits, 4 little jokes I thought about. I get second place in the comedy competition. So I'm like, wow. And people are like, you're a funny guy. And I started, which I think is very important, I started in white clubs. I didn't even used to curse. I didn't start cursing until I came to California on stage. So the guys were like, man, you're a funny dude. I said, thanks, man. So I entered, this was the turning point, Robert. I entered a competition, funniest person in Ohio and Columbus. And it was a 6-week competition. And whoever won it would get to tour all the southern part of Ohio. You know what I mean? And back then you would get $30 a show, $50 a show. 1991, $30, filled your gas tank, and got you something to eat. And a good meal, I want to say. You know what I mean? And it was a 6-week competition, and I won it. And that was it. And I won it, and they said, the people that came said, because each week you come back. And these 2 ladies were at the bar, and they said, you know why you won? And I was like, no. And they go, everybody, each week you came back with a different story, and people wanted to keep hearing what you had to say. And that was it. That's it.
What struck me personally about that story is my own story is I gave up being in musical theater and acting and singing and became a teacher, got 2 master's degrees. And then at 33, I turned around and said, I'm going to an acting conservatory. I want to get back into this business. It's never, I'm sure like everyone would be like, you just got your master's degree. Now you're going to be a stand-up comic. But if it's in you, Dan. It's it.
Yeah. And especially when I have my master's degree in. I am the first African American ever in the country to get an undergraduate degree and a master's in the field of computer animation. I was the first accepted at this school in Iowa. They were the first school to offer it as a degree, and Ohio State was the #1 program in the world at the time, and I was the first accepted in their program and the first to graduate.
So now we got to wait for the execution or the Pixar animated film. I
like that. I like your attitude. I like your attitude.
Let's go. Well, and you're still doing stand-up and you're still acting.
Yes, I'm still doing stand-up. I'm still acting. I just shot an episode of Your Honor, which is the Bryan Cranston show on Showtime. I'm up for a show right now. I'm up for a comedy, not a comedy show, but a sitcom that I'm waiting to hear. I just auditioned for them this week. So, and then I just got a deal, which I'm going to be announcing soon. Tracy's going to put out a press release, but I won't say the name of the film, but I just got a deal, option deal. I signed a producer and a director to my new screenplay that I just wrote. So I'm doing a lot of that. Yes.
Dannon, this is so exciting. This is and the road continues, and that crossroads and that.
You got to want it. If I could tell you to tell your kids anything in life as students, if you make excuses, you'll never make it. If you're looking for a handout, you'll go only as far as they want to take you. If you really want it, you got to go for it. Go for it honestly. Don't go for it. Don't look for sympathy. Be smart. Be aggressive. The rest is history.
That's some real, and no one's gonna. I say this all the time. I learned that in this business and in any business, what you just said, you look for other people to help you. And can you help me find your agent? Can you help me book a date? Can you help me? No, you have to do it all your damn self.
Not gonna happen. And let me tell you, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of millionaires. It doesn't matter. And this is what I always tell people, and I appreciate you guys and you allow me to be on your platform. I tell people, which is even like this documentary, you got to meet people halfway with your success. We all need help. That just goes without saying. You're not going to make it without help. But come to the table with something in your hand. You know what I mean? And trust me, a smart person is going to see your vision.
You're a bundle of knowledge and a class act, Dan, and thank you so much for.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Rob. I'm so happy we got a chance to finally get this done, because I definitely was so disappointed the other day. My internet sometime at home isn't strong, and I was like, "What the heck?" I was like, "Come on, man!" So.
Never a problem. I was so honored and excited to be able to talk to you. If you want to get tickets to the premiere, go to Eventbrite, and you can find tickets on Eventbrite. And if you want to keep up with you could follow. It's called The Executioner. It's going to be where it goes next. Follow it on social media. Follow Dannon and keep up to date and see what's about to happen with it. And you can see it in Philly, and then. And keep up and see him wherever he's going to be around the country, on your television screen, on your movie screens, or on your stand-up stages, for sure.
Thank you so much for having me. If you can make it over to Philly,
October 22nd.
Yes, we got you. So thank you guys so much, and thank you, Philadelphia. I love you, and God bless everybody, and definitely God bless our troops. Take care.
That truth. And now you get to go back to sleep, Dannon. It's 7:30 in the morning.
Never call me again at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You're a joy.
My friend. We'll see you.
Thank you. Sounds good. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
How inspirational and amazing is he? I mean, can you even get more inspirational and amazing than that? It's pretty beautiful story. I have had students of mine and families who have been involved in boxing, and it's always amazing to be able to see what they're able to do. You know what else is amazing? Coming up and creating your own content just like he did and making it in that way. So many of people want to talk about, how do you make it online? How do you have a YouTube channel? How do you create something? You start and you just create it. Two people who have done that and now have millions of subscribers and followers and views have now turned their YouTube world and their Instagram world into the film world with this short called Reply. Elle Mills and Michael Murphy are here. Take a peek at when we chatted and caught up earlier this week. Look, you've watched them on YouTube. You've followed them on social media. They have a short film out that I'm really excited to hear all about. It's thrilling to be able to have Ellie and Michael here. Ellie and Michael, get in here. What are you both doing? Hi, welcome.
Hello. Hi, how you doing?
Well, you are literally in, this is the break room in an elementary school in New Jersey. Hence why I was a moment late. And when I watched the short and talked about the short, what moves me so much about the short is because this is the kind of art that people of all ages really, really need to see and hear to feel accepted and seen. So thank you for making this art.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No, it's the truth. So Ellie, can you tell us a little bit about what this project is and how it came about?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for years on YouTube, I was making content that was heavily inspired by films, but I had never made my own film. And so when the pandemic hit, I just wrote out a script. And I think for years I was afraid to jump into that space because of my lack of experience and the knowledge of like the technical side of things. So that was always so daunting to me, but that's why having Michael by my side has made the experience like so easy and smooth because he's been doing it for years. And so having that weight off my shoulders was really nice. But the intention with writing it was to create the film I wish I had growing up. I grew up loving 2000s teen movies and just romance films in general. So it was really important for me personally, for like my inner child to see a queer one. So yeah, that was the intention.
Same. Well, we're talking about Reply. The short is called Reply. It's available on Creator Plus. You can download the app today. You can go to creatorplus.com for more information. So, Michael, how did you get involved in this? Did she give you a phone call? Did she text you? Did she send you a DM? And what was your thought? How did it all come about?
Elle and I have been friends for a very long time, and we've kind of always had that like film side of YouTube, that little corner. And honestly, we were at a friend's house one night and we were sitting by the pool, and Elle was like, I have this short film that I want to make, and I want you to be a part of it. And, kind of just, jumped in and became a part of it. And, I mean, my main thing and the thing that I was really focused on going in was just ensuring that this entire process ran smoothly and wonderfully for Elle, especially since this was her first time doing it. And I wanted to take some of those first time pressures off of her, knowing from my own experience how hard it was the first time I went in, and not knowing how to do certain things or having questions that I didn't have answered. I wanted to be able to be that for Elle and make sure that the creative and the vision of what this short was supposed to be was, completely seen.
Well, you both come from creating. You're both creators. You're both artists in your own way. You're modern creators. You're both YouTubers that have had tremendous success. I don't know if Elle's reuniting her divorced parents or going on dates on YouTube or introducing celebrities to her friends. And then, Michael, you have, I guess all the crush that telling a crush you like them, but all of the stuff that you both have done that have gotten you millions and millions of views and followers, to then take that. Elle, how on purpose was it to then take all of the following that you built and now put it towards causes and art that really means something to you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like the tension when I first started YouTube was the content itself. I think I've always been very passionate about telling stories, and the followers and all that kind of just happened as while doing it. So that was never like in mind, I guess. So yeah, it's always been the same focus, which was telling stories. And now it's like, I feel like I've told my stories like in my personal life, and that's kind of what I did on YouTube, where it was like, I'm going to share my friends, my family, but now I'm really interested in telling stories and perspectives in ways that aren't through me as a person, if that makes sense. Oh, I think you're muted.
Give us a little bit of information there. Welcome to elementary school struggle. If you give us a little bit of information, tell us a little bit about what the short is about, and a little bit about this cast. You have quite the talented, accomplished stars of this film, and they're pretty amazing in all the work that they've done. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I mean, Reply is a story about I think first love, and about that transition after high school, and moving away from home, and kind of how scary that is, all while telling a queer story, and that I just really wanted to be very wholesome and sweet, and just like a childlike look at love, because I think we all need to be reminded of that. And my lovely cast, I'm obsessed with them. Like I wrote the script with them in mind. So I don't know what I would have done if they said no. But Sierra and Ava, I think they embody what the film is, which is charming, but in a warm way. I think they're both so talented. I remember when they said yes, because I remember sending out the DM and the text. I remember freaking out, jumping up and down to my roommates. I was like, oh my God, because I just knew, like, because I wrote the part for them. So I knew that they could bring it to life, these characters, and give them a heartbeat in a way that only they could, because it was specifically made for them. And I remember the first day of rehearsal, we did the first scene, and I was like, oh shit, perfect. Like there's no notes, because it's like, again, like it was literally made for them, and they killed it.
Well, everyone watching, you've seen them through various television shows, from kids shows to adult shows to everything in between. They're both really accomplished actresses. Now, a little bit, Michael, can you tell us a little bit about, she was telling us a little bit about the story. So listen, if I had a boyfriend who wanted me to build a treehouse, we would probably break up too. Can you give a little bit of can you give us a little bit, Michael, about why this story about falling out of love and in love and identifying who you are, why it was so moving for you to get involved and be a part of personally?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it was something that was coming really from Elle. It was in Elle's voice. It was something that I knew she was passionate about. I knew that she understood and was going to bring something really special too. I think the story itself, I think, is wonderful, because I think, that childlike look on what romance is and can be and should be in most cases, I think is a really important kind of way to look at things and a way to look back as well. And I really loved the perspective of the film, and I loved also just how normal and how the LGBTQ aspect of it wasn't really the focal point. The focal point was love, and the actual relationship between these two girls was what was most important, and it wasn't about anything other than that. And I love that it really came off the page like that. It came off the page as something that felt like just this really wonderful, slightly coming of age, yet, focused romance about two really great characters that I felt, needed to be seen.
Well, that's kudos to you, Elle, in the writing and the direction and the work on this, because it is a love story. It's not just a queer love story. It's just a love story about love and acceptance. And it's not a stereotypical kind of story that tells this narrative that we've been taught as a queer community is the only stories that are told. When you started this journey years ago, when you were making these videos on YouTube and then decided to become a director and a writer and put things, was this always the intention? Was it always to be able to create films or television and get your stories out there?
I think for sure. I think for a while, though, it was almost a dream too big to dream. It seemed very daunting, but it has always been like the conversation of like, oh, I can't wait to see like what an Elle Mills movie would look like. And I was like, me too. I would be very intrigued because I do love, I think a huge inspiration for my videos were films. So it felt like it was a no-brainer. But yeah, again, I can't give enough credit to Michael for making it a very smooth experience, because I think now I'm like, I know what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, I do think like this was like the one thing I just can't believe it how long I have been doing it, if that makes sense. So yeah, no, it's always been the end goal, but now it seems feasible.
And you're doing it. Michael, can you tell us a little bit about the shoot? It is gorgeously shot for your first. I mean, look, here's a night. Look, it's just a beautiful. Colors are beautiful. The viewpoint, like as a cinematographer and putting the camera in angles and making it all work, it's so wonderfully done. Michael, can you tell us a little bit about how the shoot went? Where'd you shoot it? How long did it take? Give us some of the inside nerdy filmmaker scoop.
First and foremost, my intention was to make sure that, I had the best possible crew. It wasn't about getting a crew of a crazy size on board. It was more about getting less people that were better at their jobs. And I think the first step that I took was introducing Elle to Kasusha Genenfeld. She's an awesome director of photography, and she's someone that I've worked with quite a few times in the past, just in different levels on different productions. And I knew that she had this really great perspective that she could bring to the film, as well as Elle telling me that she wanted to shoot it on film. And I knew that Kasusha was very much specialized in shooting on film. And I knew that was something that she would jump at any moment. The shoot was wonderful. I mean, truly, I've said this pretty much to every single person that's asked about it, but it was the most wonderful, perfect production ever. I've never been on another one like it. It just ran so smoothly. We were wrapping early. We were having extended lunches. We had a birthday party on the last day. It was more of this like small community that we had for this short period of time with all these people that were so in love with the project and in love with each other. And I think that really came about in a way that, obviously expands beyond just the frame of the film itself. And I think you can see that just kind of in the little subtext of everything and just the way that everything happened. We shot for 3 days. We shot in Los Angeles, in and around. We shot in quite a few different places. We actually had shot at the house that's used for the interior of pretty much everything. It was also the exterior for pretty much everything. And then we had this one house that we went to on a completely different day that just had the tree house and just had that backyard. And then we had a half day at the school. We had, so it was a crazy shoot. We were jumping around a lot, but it was completely wonderful in every single way.
Well, it looks like a labor of love. It looks beautiful, and it looks like all the love is in the details and choices that you both definitely made. Elle, can you tell us a little bit about the streaming platform and how it came to be and how we can see it?
Yeah, for sure. So we kind of, after the film got made, I think PST PLUS somehow it landed in their hands and they loved it, and I'm so happy that it's, because I originally was just gonna I didn't have any plans for the release, and so to have it be released on Creator Plus is super cool. Especially like there's like, I don't know, there's like a lot of cool features with the Creator Plus platform, like behind the scenes stuff that people can see, commentary stuff. So it's like a dream come true for the short film to be released on Creator Plus, and it's going to be out November 10th exclusively on Creator Plus, so people can rent it there to watch it. There's also an option to additional option to donate to the Trevor Project with the rental, which is really cool to be partnering up with the Trevor Project for this. So
that's so amazing. There's so many people that are looking for art that represents the lives that they live, and we don't always get it. So the fact that you both have taken this into your own hands and created your own work I'm so grateful personally to be able to see stories like this being told. It saves a lot of lives and shows a lot of representation to a lot of people who don't feel or see it on a daily basis. So thank you, both of you, so much for putting your work and your lives on the line for this. Do you have any last words for anyone watching? We have a lot of students who watch the show. If they're into, they ask me who my favorite YouTuber is, and I'm like, I'm old. I'm 39 years old. We used to watch TGIF on ABC. We didn't even have the DVR. Never mind YouTube. What advice do you have for people who have a story to be told that want to get into the creative space? Do you have any words of wisdom about what you've learned along your journey before I let you both go?
Yeah. I think my advice would be, I think a big part of it is to just do it. I think a lot of people that I know in my own personal life that they talk about it, but they don't do it. And I think that's the hardest jump to do. So I think it's ripping the Band-Aid and doing it. And it's also about telling something that is true to you and who you are and that you feel passionate about, and not what you think other people want to see. It's what do you want to see? You should be your biggest fan of your own stories and your own projects.
I think, yeah, just to kind of jump on that. Find your voice, tell stories that you know, and make things that you would want to see.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get better than that. Everyone, this November, make sure that you stream Reply. It's going to be available. Download the app, get started, learn how to use it, and watch the other content on there on creatorplus.com. And you can follow Elle on Instagram, and you can follow Michael on Instagram. You probably are already following them on YouTube. So everybody, make sure you check out Reply coming out this November. Both of you, thank you again for your art and artistry. It really means a lot, and spending time with us today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I hope that you are inspired. I sure am inspired. Personally, it's all about just doing the work, getting in there and doing. Start, take a step, and the path will follow. I had to spend thousands of dollars in therapy to learn that. I'm giving that to you for free. If there's something you're dying to do and finish, just get up tomorrow and take your first step. If you have any guest suggestions, make sure you comment below and follow us as always. Say hi, tell us where you're from. It's such a joy to be here. If you want more information on little old me, you can go to robertbannon.com. Until next time, you know where to be. You know where to find us. Thank you for watching the Roundtable. It's always a joy and an honor to spend some time with you, and I'll catch you next time. Good night, everybody.